Hello there! If you like sci-fi and you like games, this might be for you. You explore a silent galaxy, one system at a time. You mine planets, build factories on their surfaces, run supply routes between them. You design ships, arm them, and send them in to clear out what's hostile and loot what's left. This episode is all about combat. Everything I've reworked over the past few weeks, and the big change: AI commanders that can run a whole fight on their own, so you can hand a battle off and just watch it play out, or fly in and take command yourself. Before we get into it though, if you are more curious about the other parts of the game, the systems and where it's all heading, my previous video covers all of that in broad strokes. Start there if that's more your thing. One thing up front: the game is still in pre-alpha. All of this is a prototype. I add a feature, mix it in with the rest and see what actually works. Right now, it's about getting the building blocks down. Experiment, iterate, see what sticks, before I commit to any one vision. So everything you are about to see is rough. The systems are the point here, not the polish. Battles play out on what I call the encounter grid. It got a bit of a UI pass since the last time. Every unit now carries a glyph for its class, so at a glance you can tell what's out there. But when the grid is busy, being able to read it at a glance actually matters. I also added time controls. This one came straight out of playing. Sometimes a fight gets busy and I just need to slow down and actually see what's going on. And sometimes I just want to watch the slugs fly past in slow motion, because it feels good. So you can now slow the battle down 4 times slower or 30 times. Your forces are organized into battlegroups. How a battle group is actually put together I'll get into another time. For now, let's just talk about how you bring them into a fight. Encounters have a difficulty level, and I think that's going to be fixed per encounter. It decides how much you can field. Say it's a level 3, you can have 3 battle groups on the grid at once. You can bring more than that, you just cycle them in as room opens up. One thing I love in sci-fi is the moment of arrival, so I wanted it here. When the fight starts, you pick a battle group and choose where it drops in. You can pull them back out too. Once a group leaves the grid, it's gone for that fight. You can't call it back. You can also call fresh battle group in mid-fight. When you do, you get a 2D holo projection to help you place it. It shows your weapon ranges and it drops a projection of the enemy hull into the same plane, so you can gauge the distances and figure out where to bring the group in. Right now you can set the height and the direction the fleet arrives at. It still needs work, but it's okay for now. This is also where I'm chasing more cinematic feel. The bones are there, but it needs a lot more work. The group spawns at the edge of the grid and comes in, Expanse-style, flipped, burning to decelerate, and on the last stretch they flip back around and drop into the fight, guns blazing. You're never stuck in one seat. You can fly any battle group yourself from its command seat, or step out of the chair entirely. The moment you do, the camera detaches and the AI takes over your ship. From there, you've got 2 ways to look at the fight. There is free camera, for when you just want to find a good angle, sit back and watch it play out. And there is tactical mode, the one that really helps you command. It opens the zoom ceiling right up so you can pull back and read the whole battle, drops every ship to a wireframe, and cranks the contrast so it's easier to follow what's happening. Either way, you are not just spectating. You can still give orders to your whole fleet, the same commands the AI works with, move here, attack that, pull back, so you can step in, nudge things your way, and drop back out whenever you want. Whichever way you play, flying in yourself or sitting back and letting it run, what matters to me is that the fight feels satisfying. Just know this, if your fleet is weaker or smaller, you'll lose unless you use your wits. You are a thumb on a scale. How hard you push in your favor is what decides the battle. If your fleet is well prepared and diverse, it's mostly just a matter of switching between battle groups at the right moment. At least that's what I'm going for right now. Now, how ships actually fight. First, the new stuff, ordnance and base. Two kinds so far, missiles and drone wings. These aren't your normal weapons, you only get to use them limited number of times in a battle. Right now, they are there to give a fight its big moments, so every engagement isn't the same. Because hundreds of missiles going out at once, drone wings timed to arrive right alongside them, railguns raining down over the top of it all, that's the space opera fantasy I'm chasing, but more on that later. Drone wings come in 3 flavors, and each one fights differently. Interceptors are the bodyguards. If a carrier has them in stock and picks up a threat to itself or its battle group, it scrambles them to take the pressure off. Bombers are the opposite. They go out hunting, hitting other ships on the grid. And assault drones sit in the middle. They'll work either roll, defend or attack, wherever they are needed. The nice part is the carrier mostly handles this on its own. It reads the threat and sends out the right wing. The regular weapons I split into 3 ranges: long, medium and short. Those ranges tie into something I'm calling the AI frame. A fitting that tells a ship how its AI should fight. It's how you specialize a battle group. Take the brawler frame. A group built mostly of brawlers, once the admiral commits them, will close the distance, pin the enemy in place and break their formation apart. The harass frame leans on medium range weapons instead. Those ships try to wrap around the enemy and orbit them, using their speed, so the enemy's turrets have a hard time tracking them. So you're not really micromanaging any of these. You set the frames, point the group at something, and the commanders handle the rest. I also added directional damage. Depending on its frame, a ship carries different armor on different parts of the hull, so where you hit it matters, which means maneuvering actually pays off, whether you are flying or the commanders are, flanking, working around to the more vulnerable parts of the hull. It's worth the effort, because that's where the armor is thin. Underneath all of it, there is something I think of as the dance of commitment. Every ship runs on heat. Each shot builds it up, and there is only so much it can take. When a ship is spent, the AI pulls it back to cool off. What I'm after with this is back and forth rhythm. Ships pushing in to deal damage, then peeling away to survive. Instead of 2 lines just sitting there, trading fire until one side is gone. This is the part I'm most excited about. I'm calling it the Alpha Strike. Depending on what a battle group is made of, you can call for one big, specific all-in attack. The whole group goes into overdrive at once. They overheat doing it, and for a while afterwards they are wide open. High risk, high reward. Here is how the strike goes. The carriers launch every drawing first, and they fan out around the fleet. It's also a bit of a visual cue. If you ever see it on enemy group, get ready. Then the missiles fire, all of them at once. The drones chase in behind them, and the last, the railgun salvo. What I'm coding toward is the timing the whole thing so it all lands on the enemy at almost the same moment, the missiles and railgun slugs tearing the group apart, and the bombers and assault drones mopping up whatever is left. Okay, this part is more where I want to take it than what's actually in right now. I want the grid itself to be more than empty space. I've been thinking about asteroids and all the derelict wrecks you could tag a fleet behind. Some of that's already in. Ships only see each other when there is line of sight between them, but it's early and I'm still turning it over. There is a stealth angle I keep coming back to. Maybe battle groups could go dark, slip past the enemy's line, and land a surprise blow. Or maybe just sitting near asteroid or a wreck messes with weapons. Enemy turrets start to act up, struggle to get a lock, miss more. I don't really know yet, but it's fun thread to pull. And I am not in a hurry, I'm just having a lot of fun building this. So that's the combat. I know this might all sound a bit overcomplicated, but I think these blocks make a good route for some emergent behavior. So the player doesn't actually need to understand the systems to progress and have fun. The trick is making them seamless, so it all feels organic. At least that's what I'm going for. There is plenty I'm still working out, the gameplay, the balance, how it all fits together. But for now I can already see the potential, especially once I get to the hull designer, which I've got a really good idea for. And that's the fun part now. Take these blocks, mix and match them, and see what comes out. And that's where I'll leave the combat for now. Thank you for watching this far, it really does mean a lot. And maybe if this project appeals to you, subscribe, join the Discord, come say hi. For the rest of the video I want to step away from the game itself and talk about that community and the plans for where the project goes from here. I started this channel on May 19th. And there are already 427 of you here, plus 46 over in the Discord. I'm using this last part of the video to update you on where things are and where they are headed. A big thank you to everyone subscribing and especially to everyone commenting. One comment actually sparked the idea that cracked a problem I'd been stuck on. The whole Battlegroups approach came out of it, so please keep them coming, it's often gold. When it comes to the Discord itself, but once this video's out and I've paid off the sleep debt I racked up, I want to sit down and properly organize it. A dev talk channel, a dev blog, maybe a discussion one too. Lots of people have mentioned a ship designer, and I agree, this game needs a hull designer for everything. Fighters, ships, transport stations, I see it as a great way for the community to share builds, but I want to make it really cool. I've already started digging into how Tiny Glade pulled off what they did, because I think there are some interesting lessons in there. The game is still missing a lot of content. I can do a lot with code myself, but there are things I'll need to find an artist for and commission. Take my writing. That one I can handle. It matters a lot to me to tell the story the way I want it told, with the feeling I put into it. But I'll still need a professional to look it over and clean up anything that's off. Music. I tried and I can't. My mind just doesn't work that way, I think. So that's a layer I want to fully commission out to someone who knows what they're doing. As for what I'm going for, play album Interzone by Ogre Sound. This is close, maybe a touch too anxiety-inducing, but it feels great. Sound effects, same story, find a professional, commission them out. Illustrations. I want homeworld-style cinematics to help tell the story. I'm looking for an artist who can capture what I'm after in a style that's their own. I'm thinking something monochromatic and low poly might fit, though the tricky part is that too often people don't really feel the science fiction, so the right person might be hard to find. Voice acting. I want to record some lines from the time before the probe, a few lore drops, some exposition on what happened, another one to commission out. The mothership needs a voice too. It can't really be voice acted, since the readouts change a lot depending on situation. Right now I've got an Animaleasy setup, like in Animal Crossing, but with different intonations, so it kind of fits, though I'm not happy with it yet, so I'm still experimenting. 3D models. Since I want to build the hull designer, I'll be moving the 3D artist I commissioned for hull work onto other things. I'm thinking environments, turrets, that kind of thing. To wrap up, there is a huge amount of work still ahead. I want this project to be my love letter to the universe, and I want to make it as good as I possibly can. So I'll commission these pieces bit by bit and fold them into the game. I don't have a lot of resources, but I can take on a little financial hit each month steadily. So thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And sometimes I want to watch the slugs whiz. And sometimes I want to watch the slugs whiz. Whiz? Kurwa.